Hi everyone, today's recipe is tomato soup. So there's some history behind this recipe. It's one of my husband, Rohit's favorite meal. It's tomato soup with a grilled cheese sandwich. And of course, it's extremely easy to do when you're opening a can of tomato soup. And then one time, a couple of years ago, I looked at the label of the can of tomato soup and it had 25 grams of sugar. 25. Can you believe it? That's like 6 teaspoons of sugar. And of course, it was around the time when we were cutting out sugar from our diet. And I knew there was no more. I couldn't buy that can of tomato soup anymore. So I did some research and came up with this recipe with the help of multiple recipes out there. Hope you enjoy. Thanks. So even though this is tomato soup, I do add other vegetables to it just because I can. Uh, Here I'm, roughly chopping up the vegetables. The carrot, as you saw, was huge. It was like more than my hand. And carrots are great because, they have the vitamin C and the beta carotene. They support the, gut health. So it's a great vegetable to add. It kind of goes with tomato as well. So is the beetroot. As you can see, I'm not peeling the beetroot or anything. I just took out the, grungy bits at the end and I'm good. So beetroot is a powerhouse. It's got folates, B9, manganese, potassium, iron, and vitamin C, and of course tomatoes, of which I'm putting 6. It's rich in vitamin C, potassium, folate, and vitamin K. So you can see these veggies kind of go together, and they're all good to be added to the tomato soup. I'm going to add just a little bit of, salt. So this is a really small spoon I use with my masala dabba. I've added a bit of turmeric and black pepper. You see my ginger powder. It's in a recyclable bottle, and I just stick the, anyway, here's the garlic powder as well. I just recycle my bottles and I put the baggie on it with the name so that I know what is in the bottle, and it keeps the bottle clean as well from my smudgy fingers. Anyway, so you can boil this any way you want. You can boil it in the microwave. I'm going to use a pressure cooker, but you can boil it on a stovetop, just in a regular pot. If you are following the pressure cooker, I'm going to bring it to a boil. Add 2 cups of water, and bring it. After the first whistle, I'm going to turn down the heat to medium and put 5 minutes on the timer. At the end of that, once it's, the pressure releases and I look at it, this is what it looks like. Everything is well cooked. The beetroot is still a little firm, so I wanted to test it, but it was fine. It was well cooked. It wasn't mushy, so that's good. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to blend it. And as you note, I just blended everything, including the peel of the tomato. I did take a little bit of liquid out before I blended it just to blend it well. And now I've got the puree. I'm running it through the sieve. And I wanted to get the extra little bit from the blender. And it's really quite amazing because even though I didn't peel any of the vegetables, everything got blended and came through with all the goodness. And the only thing left over are the gunky tomato seeds, which apparently no amount of boiling can get rid of. So get rid of those tomato seeds. And now you've got a nice creamy sort of pulp ready. There was a bit of water at the bottom that I'd taken out earlier, so it's not as thick as that. Once I mix it, you'll see it's sort of liquidy, but that's good because I'm going to boil it on the stovetop for another 10 minutes, because you see that little foamy thing that needs to go away. That tells me it's not properly, it hasn't come together. So I've just added it back to my cooker, but I'm not going to put the lid on. I did test it and the salt seemed to be less, so I'm just adding a little bit of salt, and this is where you can sort of balance your taste, balance everything to your taste. If you want to add more black pepper or salt or anything like that. Now you will note I did not add any sugar, and we do need to add a bit of a sweet flavor to the tomato soup, because we've been trained for tomato soup to be a little sweet. So I'm not going to add any sugar, but if you wanted to add sugar, I guess this would be the time to do so. What I'm going to do instead is, after I've boiled it for 10 minutes and the foam has gone away, like it sees over here, I'll turn off the heat, and that is when I will add a touch of cream. Now, I do want to just say that because I've added a ton of vegetables, I need a source of fat in here, because all these vitamins are fat soluble. And if you don't want to add dairy, you could have added some cashews or sesame seeds when you were boiling the vegetables. It would still give you that creamy flavor and add the good fat without adding dairy. So, but I had some cream, so I'm just going to use my cream, and I knew I was going to use cream, so I didn't. I just added like 2-3 tablespoons, not too much. I'm going to add a tablespoon in that pot as well. You saw I added 1 pack of the sweetener, and that I find is enough to add that sweet flavor to it. I'm going to dish it out, top it with some croutons. Obviously, these are not going to be fried croutons. They're just, the baked croutons that you get in a pack at the grocery store. I'll show you in a bit, and top it with some more cream. But this is a delicious soup. You must try it, and do remember to add some good fat to it, whether it's in the form of cream or sesame seeds that can be blended up, or cashews. And I've made it with all 3 versions, and all 3 are equally good. So here I've ladled out some soup in my soup bowl. I'm going to top it with some more. These are the croutons that I can buy. There's already seasoned, whatever, 5, 6, 8, whatever you want to add, and just another tablespoon of the cream on top. It just adds that extra punch, and that's why I didn't add too much. But you do need a little bit of the good fat, and that is it for today. Here's the recipe. Enjoy. Please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe.